After finding that folder in her gym bag, I started living with this constant pit in my stomach. It was like being in a horror movie where you're the only one who realizes the monster is already inside the house. I couldn't stop replaying it in my head. Those photocopies, those papers. Why would she even need them? Who was she sharing them with? My brain spiraled into all kinds of possibilities. Was she trying to open accounts in my name? Was she getting ready to drain our savings? Or worse, was she preparing for some legal battle I didn't know about? Divorce? Custody? The possibilities kept me awake night after night, staring at the ceiling while she slept peacefully beside me. I started watching her more closely. Every little thing she did suddenly seemed suspicious. The way she'd smile at her phone, the way she'd lock herself in the bathroom for a long shower while I could hear faint typing sounds behind the door, the way she'd ask me casually what time I was coming home from work. Before all this, I would have brushed those things off, but now I was cataloging everything, piecing it together like some deranged detective. It felt insane to be suspicious of my own wife, the person who had shared my bed, my home, and my life for nearly a decade. And yet, my gut wouldn't let me ignore it anymore. One evening, I came home early from work, a rarity because usually I stay late to avoid traffic. I walked in quietly, and I heard her voice in the kitchen. She was on the phone, her tone low and urgent. I froze in the hallway, listening. She said, "Don't worry. It'll be easier than you think. He's too trusting. He won't see it coming." I swear to God, I almost dropped my briefcase right there. My chest tightened, my ears started ringing, and I felt this wave of nausea roll over me. I stepped forward to try and catch more, but the second the floor creaked under my weight, she went dead silent. When I entered the kitchen, she was casually scrolling through Instagram, like nothing had happened. "Hey, babe, you're home early," she chirped. I felt like I was losing my mind. That night, after she went to bed, I checked her purse. I never do this. I hate snooping, but I couldn't help myself. Inside, I found a key I didn't recognize, tucked into a small pocket. It wasn't for our house or our cars. When I asked her about it the next morning, she didn't even blink. She just said, "Oh, that's an old storage unit key I forgot about." I asked which storage unit, and she rolled her eyes, saying, "You're always so paranoid. I probably threw it away already." But the key was still there, in her purse. She didn't even try to cover that part. It was like she thought I was too stupid to notice. The gaslighting became unbearable. Anytime I questioned her about something, she'd flip it back on me. If I brought up the mystery phone calls, she'd accuse me of eavesdropping. If I asked about the money transfers, she'd say I didn't appreciate her trying to plan something nice. If I mentioned how she was secretive around our daughter, she'd snap, "Don't drag her into your paranoia." It was like she had an answer for everything, and every answer made me feel crazier. The worst part? She delivered her lies with such confidence that half the time I started doubting my own memory. Did I mishear her? Did I misremember what she said? She was that good at twisting reality. Then something happened that I can't shake. My daughter came home from school one day, carrying a little pink backpack she didn't usually bring. When I asked her about it, she said Mommy had bought it for her because we might need to go somewhere fast. I felt the blood drain from my face. I gently asked her where they were going, but she just shrugged and said, "It's a surprise." She was smiling, innocent, completely unaware of the weight of her words. That night, I checked the backpack when my wife wasn't looking. Inside were pajamas, a toothbrush, a couple of toys, and even a small envelope with cash. It looked like a freaking go bag. That discovery nearly broke me. I sat in my car in the driveway later that night, gripping the steering wheel until my knuckles turned white, trying not to scream. It was obvious now. She wasn't just messing with me. She was planning to leave, and she was planning to take my daughter with her. I felt this primal, almost animalistic rage I'd never experienced before. The thought of losing my little girl, of waking up one day to find them both gone, was unbearable. My mind raced with possibilities. Would she disappear to another state? Another country? Who was helping her? And why? The more I thought about it, the more I realized the money she was siphoning the fake trust she kept pushing, the photocopied documents. All of it was part of a bigger plan. I started wondering if she had been plotting this for months, maybe even years. Every fight we'd had, every time she had undermined me, every time she'd accused me of being controlling. It all felt like groundwork to paint me as the bad guy. Was she setting me up for a custody battle? Was she preparing to tell everyone I was some abusive, paranoid husband so she could run off with my daughter and my money? The paranoia consumed me. Finally, I decided I couldn't sit on it anymore. I had to confront her. One night after our daughter went to bed, I sat her down at the kitchen table and laid it all out. The phone calls, the hidden key, the money transfers, the go bag in our daughter's backpack, the folder with my documents. My hands were shaking, my voice cracked, but I got it all out. I half expected her to crumble, to admit to at least some of it. Instead, she laughed. She actually laughed in my face. "You've really lost it, haven't you?" she said, leaning back in her chair. "Do you hear yourself? You sound insane." I tried to press her, asking for explanations, demanding she come clean. She denied everything with this smug, almost gleeful expression, like she was enjoying watching me unravel. She said the calls were to her friends, the money was for a secret gift, the folder was just emergency prep, the backpack was just for fun. Every excuse was flimsy, but she delivered them with such arrogance it made me feel like I was talking to a stranger. When I pushed harder, she exploded, screaming, calling me paranoid, accusing me of trying to control her, even throwing in a few lines about how maybe she deserved better than someone who spies on his wife. I just sat there, stunned, realizing I might never get the truth from her lips.